If you clicked on this video, then you were definitely trying to learn how to make some authentic Jamaican sorrel drink. And trust me, it's simple, quick, and easy. And you're just gonna thank me after you watch this video because the thing I got sell off and you can't drink it with some white rum. You can't drink it by yourself or you can't drink it with everybody else. But continue watching this video so you can learn how I make it so that you can make it, so that you can tell your friends how to make it. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into my video. So today we're going to be making some authentic Jamaican sorrel. We're not going to add any extra stuff or any twist and turn to it. No, we're just going to make some authentic Jamaican sorrel. So basically you're going to get a pot, whichever pot you're going to use to boil the water and whatever amount of water you want to use. And this is all dependent on how much sorrel you're going to use. If you're going to want a lot of sorrel, then get a bigger pot and add more water. And because my pot is so big, I'm using turning on the two burners right here. So next you're gonna get your ginger. So in classic Jamaican sorrel, it's ginger and the sorrel and water and then sugar to sweeten it. So basically, you can use whatever amount of ginger that you like. So since I like a lot of ginger taste in my sorrel, then I'm gonna get more ginger. If you don't like so much ginger taste, then you can get less ginger. So there's not gonna be any exact measurements because this is a very forgiving thing to make. So I'm not gonna put down any recipes because everything is dependent on the person's taste. So you can see that I'm using a lot of water and I'm using a lot of ginger. So what I'm doing here is basically washing the ginger and scrubbing it because I'm going to basically blend the ginger. Usually you're going to want to grater it and stuff like that, but I'm just going to blend it to make it easier for me. And because I'm not going to take the skin off, this is the reason why I'm basically washing the ginger like this. So if you're going to do what I did, then definitely wash the ginger and scrub it the way I'm doing it before you blend it. So next what you're going to do is you're either going to grate the ginger at this point in the process if you don't have a blender. So you're just going to get the grater and grate the ginger by hand. And you're going to use the smallest one on the grater. So not the large one, the smallest one. It should be the fine one that you use if you had nutmeg, and you're gonna grate the nutmeg basically. So right here, I'm just cutting up the ginger in bite-sized pieces because the cup that I am using is small since I'm using a NutriBullet. So after I cut it up, then I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it, and this is just to help it blend. You don't have to do this if you had like a food processor or something. You can also use that. So I'm going to blend it right here, but as you can see, I used the wrong attachment. So I'm going to show you the other attachment that I am going to use, which is definitely much better to use than what I used. So you're going to see that I'm going to take it off, switch to that attachment. That's basically the regular attachment for the NutriBullet, and it's just going to blend much better. And as I'm blending, you can see that it was getting stuck, and I'm just shaking it and moving it around because you don't want to add too much water. You don't want to water down the ginger. So after I blend it, then you're going to see that it's really fine. And this is the consistency that I prefer. And when you blend it this fine, you're going to basically get all the ginger flavor out of it. So that ginger can get infused into the sorrel. So this is definitely better than grating, in my opinion. But to each its own. If you think that the grating is better, then you can grate it. If you think that the blender is better, you can blend it, or you can also use the food processor. It's up to you. So it's basically a personal preference. So I'm just going to blend the rest of my ginger and then come back. what you're gonna do is basically get whatever sorrel that you're gonna use. There's a bunch of different brands of sorrel, but I personally don't have a personal preference. But these are the ones that I'm going to use today in this video. So if you're gonna get a sorrel, get the at least minimum 8 ounces and get more than you need because you don't know if you're going to want to add more sorrel into the hot water. So what I'm doing is basically pouring all the 1 ounce packets that I have into a container, and then I'm also going to pour all the 8 ounce package inside. So I think in total I had about 12 or 13 ounces of sorrel that I'm using for this amount of water that I had in the beginning of the video. So what you're gonna do is after you add it, we're going to wash the sorrel. So you're gonna want to wash it because there could be dirt and everything in there. But you're not going to want to overwash it. And I'm not using any hot water. I'm using like warm water because the sorrel gives the drink its color. So what you're gonna want to do is to wash it about 2 to 3 times, and then drain the water out. And the red in the water is normal. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But just wash everything properly. With everything, you're always gonna want to wash it because this is the hibiscus flower, and it's clearly coming from outside, and they're drying it and stuff. So you already know there's gonna be some impurities or dirt and stuff on it, and you just want to get rid of that. So after I wash it, I'm just going to set it aside until the water is start boiling. So once the water boils, then we're going to turn off the water. And then I'm going to just show you. So now we're just going to check on the water to see if it's boiling. As you can see, mine is boiling vigorously. So what we're going to do is just turn off the fire completely right now. And then we're going to get our washed hibiscus or sorrel leaves, and then we're going to add everything inside the pot. And then you can see that the sorrel covers everything. The hibiscus flowers covers everything, so you know that's a right amount of sorrel that we use. Then we're just going to add the ginger to the pot, stir everything around. Then we're going to cover the pot, and you're going to want this to sit down for 24 hours and cool. So leave it for so one this day. Is the next day, and I just have my setup ready here. I'm going to show you how the sorrel looks since it stayed overnight. And this is basically how it's looking. You can see that the color just looks rich, and it definitely got a little bit thicker. And you can also see that the hibiscus flowers like basically plumped up. It was dry before, and it basically plumped up, and you all the flavors basically got extracted, and it's in the water. So what we are going to do is we're going to strain this. So what people usually do is use a strainer, then they have to strain it 2, 3, 4 times, and they still have little remnants inside. So get the cheesecloth and use that as your strainer instead, and you're just going to strain it one time, and that's it. And it's going to be perfect, no little remnants of anything. And this is also perfect if you also juice and you don't want to use to get all those little remnants of the fruits inside your juice or whatever thing you're juicing. So after I add the sorrel into the cheesecloth, then you're going to see that I'm just going to strain everything. So you're going to want to strain it so all the liquid come out, because you're going to want to make sure that you get as all the sorrel that you can as possible, because you want a lot of sorrel. um, and before you do this, make sure you have a clean hand. I did wash my hand before doing any of this, so just make sure your hands is clean before you start wringing things out. So just sit back, relax, and just watch me do my thing, and yeah, enjoy. So now I basically strained a lot of the sorrel and I'm just gonna sweeten it with sugar, and this is just granulated sugar. So you're just gonna add granulated sugar to the pot a little bit at a time, and you're gonna take the spoon and mix it, make sure it's mixed thoroughly, and then after each time you mix it, then you're gonna taste it. So you're gonna wanna do this. You don't wanna add too much at a time, and then the sorrel is like overly sweet and it's overbearing. You don't want that. So just add a little bit of a little bit of sugar at a time, and then mix, 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 and then taste it. And then after you taste it, if it needs more sugar, then you keep adding more sugar. And this is just going to be a repetitive process that you're going to keep doing until you get it to the right sweetness that you do want. And let's say that you are diabetic, you can use blend of sugar or a sugar substitute if you don't want to use granulated sugar. So it's basically whatever sweetener that you want to use. I personally think granulated white sugar tastes better. You can use brown sugar if you want, but if you want the really nice, authentic flavor, definitely use a granulated sugar. If you're diabetic, definitely use the regular Splenda sugar or sugar substitute. So now that your sorrel is sweetened, you're just going to get whatever container that you're going to use to bottle the sorrel in. So what Jamaican people or Caribbean people usually do is, let's say if it's close to Christmas time or Thanksgiving time and they know that they're going to make whatever drinks, it could be some rum punch or sorrel, then they're going to save whatever bottles that they use and use that to bottle the sorrel or whatever drink that they're making. So it definitely comes in handy. So I'm just taking a plastic cup and I'm pouring everything into the bottle. But if you do have a funnel, definitely invest in that because that's just going to make your life so much easier. So invest in a funnel if you know that you make drinks a lot because trust me, it's definitely better. Um, yeah, so what I'm gonna do is just bottle all of these sorrel and then also sweeten the rest of the sorrel, and I'm just gonna show you how much sorrel I got out of that big pot. And yeah, and then I'll show you how it looks. So this is the finished product. I got 5 bottles out of this, and what you're gonna do is you can put it down whenever you're ready to drink it. You can drink it alone with ice, or you can get you some rain if you're white rum, pour some inside and drink it with the sorrel, and it's sell off.